sound. Wait, let me try this. How about now? Can you hear me? I don't know. Never had a sound problem. Wait. Yeah, so, okay, you can hear me now? Okay, good. I was gonna say, I don't know what else to do. Okay, so, welcome to Tamil Nadu, Southern India. What was I saying? I don't know. I have nothing planned, so basically now if you have questions, feel free to ask me anything. I'll be live for like an hour, so ask me anything that you want. Basically, the only two things I was going to say is obviously you've seen a lot of my Chinese series. A lot of the Chinese series coming out. I've been trying to, sorry, hopefully that's not too loud. I've been trying to edit it as much as possible, as fast as possible. I'm just busy. I have a lot of things on my plate right now, so bear with me. In the beginning, I was editing like one every day and a half. Now it's like 2 a week, 2.5 a week. I edited a video today and part of one yesterday. So just bear with me. I'm trying to get through this Chinese series as fast as I can, but I'm not in China, I'm in India, so don't worry. I'm not gonna get the virus unless the virus comes to this small village in the middle of nowhere. Then I might have a problem. So yeah, I will be here, basically editing every single day for another month and a half. I plan on leaving this country, India, and going to a different country in March, at the end of March. I won't tell you where. Many people have asked me where I'm going, but I haven't even told my mother yet. It's like a secret, so. I think like 2 people know. One person in the neighborhood here asked me when I'm leaving and where I'm going, and I told him because he has no idea that I'm on YouTube, so. Other than that, I'm leaving eventually at the end of March, and I will go to a country for 1 month. After that, I will fly to Delhi. So those of you who are in Delhi, hello. I will fly to Delhi, and then I will try to get my visa to go to Pakistan. So those of you from Pakistan, I will be visiting your country soon, unless there's a problem with a visa, because when I called the consulate, even the people didn't even know how to give me a visa. I called the Pakistani embassy, and they did not know how to get me a visa. No joke. I called the Pakistani embassy in India. They said, well, you're an American in India, so we don't know how to get you a visa, really. So I had to call the American embassy, and even they didn't know everything, but they said, you'll have to get the paperwork from that embassy, bring it to us, but first you must pay us $50, okay? And then we'll take the papers, and then we'll give you another paper, then you take all of the papers back to the Bangladesh embassy, or the Pakistan embassy, and then if all goes well, they'll approve, and then you can go to Pakistan. So it's like, oh my God. Hopefully all goes well. If not, I guess I'm hanging out in India, in northern India for the winter. So hopefully, or for the summer, hopefully all goes well, and I can get into Pakistan. Anyway, so that's basically it. I'm leaving at the end of March. Oh, and I just started filming today. You probably can't see. This was my setup. Can I do this? Are you going to be able to see? I just posted this on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, be sure. So I sat there and was filming tonight. That's basically upstairs. And I'm just filming a new series, titled Crazy Travel Stories. I'm going to make a new, what do you call it? I don't know, but I'm going to make a new thing, a new playlist, which will be titled Crazy Travel Stories. Basically, there's a lot of things that happen to me on the road, but they never make it to YouTube because my camera is not out, or I don't go out with my camera, or who knows. So there's many things that never make it to YouTube. I think many of you took the survey who are watching this that I posted a couple weeks back, that yeah, like 99.5% of my travels are not on YouTube. So like you don't even get to see hardly anything. You just get to see what I show you. So yeah, it's crazy. And what I really hate is when I have crazy people on YouTube who write terrible comments and they like attack me for not doing something It's crazy, but I'm like, dude, you only seen the videos that I showed you. You were not with me the other 99.5% of the time I was traveling in that country. You have no idea where I went or what I did. It's so frustrating. So people like hate me sometimes on YouTube. So anyway, that's pretty much it. So I filmed and recorded tonight my first story. I'll probably post that sometime this week. It's interesting. Those of you who caught that story, I actually posted it last week, but a live version. But some of you are saying that the quality was bad because of the internet connection being a live video. So I just took it down and I filmed it and I'll upload it. So it should be a nice, clear story. So that's pretty much it. I need water and apparently I don't have cups really. So I just drink out of water. Crazy. And by the way, if you want to know, this costs 30 rupees, 30, which is like 40 cents, something like that. Yeah, 35, 40 cents US. And, really loud. And this, oh my God, this is full. Big bottle of water, which I used to fill that up, also costs 30 rupees. It's actually 20 rupees, but I buy it from the store and they mark it up 10. So whatever, it's 30 rupees for this and 30 rupees for a brand new bottle. Crazy, right? So anyway, that lasts like 5 days for me. Okay, I'm gonna hop in and dive in and see what everyone is saying. Hello, hello. I'm gonna start at the top. Yeah, I think everyone was saying there's no sound, but I think all is good now. Where are you? I'm in Tamil Nadu, southern India. Tamil Nadu, southern India. What are you saying? I know, no audio. Crazy, right? How do you feel about the Prana situation? Yeah, it's terrifying. Yeah, like it's, how do I say? Yes, it's terrible. I am definitely not the most qualified person to speak on this topic, but yeah, I mean, I've just seen a number today watching the video. I'm going to forget it, but it's just like an insane amount of people who are infected. The last time I heard it was like 1,000 people. Now it's like tens of thousands of people who are infected and tons of people who have died as well. So it's not good. And there's different theories about where this came from. Everyone can confirm that it's from a bat, but how did it get transferred from a bat to a human? And then there's different stories depending on what media source you have plugged into, I guess. But from my perspective, I've listened to a lot of government officials to the United States, and there are many. Depends on who you're listening to, but some of them have said that there are secret biochemical, what's the word? Not warehouses, but laboratories and such that China has created, and one of them is right there in Hunan. You can see that. They even have photos of it. And it's kind of ironic that such a horrible, terrible virus came from that specific area in proximity of that building. So they were saying, yeah, it's from the market, but I don't think that's how it happened because it just doesn't seem possible. You'd have to usually have fluid contact with a bat, like rub its eyeball against your eyeball, or even eating it probably wouldn't do it. So I don't know, it's kind of weird. So it sounds like they developed something that they shouldn't have been, and then it kind of got out. But maybe I'm wrong. I have no idea. I listen to a lot of different sources, but that's the one that's the most logical to me. But it's scary, regardless. Hopefully, it becomes contained sooner than later. Bangladesh vlogs were awesome. One of the best. Well, thank you. Cool. Yeah, it didn't take off as much as I thought it would. Like, obviously, there's a couple videos that kind of grew, but I was really hoping for like a bigger push in Bangladesh. But it encourages me to go back. Many people have asked me over the last month if I'm going back to Bangladesh. The answer is yes, but I don't know when. I kind of have the rest of this year planned. So if I went back, it would be next year, but then that would mean that I would spend time here and then not spend time in another country, a new country that I haven't been to yet. So I love exploring new places. I want to go back, but I also want to visit new places. So it's a really tough call for me. But yeah, part of me wants to go back. It sounds like there's many more things in Bangladesh that I didn't get a chance to visit, that I didn't get a chance to experience and visit and go to. So yeah, yeah, I just don't know when to answer those questions. Where's your next destination? I can't tell you. The only people who now know are the people who are on my postcard list. Like if you aren't receiving a postcard from me, you probably don't know. The only way you can receive a postcard is to be an active Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com and find me, and you're part of that club, I guess you could call it, you get a postcard from me. And then actually, I just sent those out 2 days ago, yesterday, I don't know, a couple of days ago. And on there, and even last month, I told people on the postcards. So yeah, postcards are coming, and you'll definitely know. India or Bangladesh, in terms of which one I like more, I'm not sure. Both are cool in their own way. They're very similar. Culturally, they're very similar. The only major difference, the only major difference that I could tell, being a person who cannot speak the language in either country, but the one thing that I could see that was different was how few people wanted to take a photo with me in Bangladesh. There was a lot, but it was nothing like India. India is like selfie capital of the world, but Bangladesh, it was like more relaxed. It was like, this guy, cool, move on. But in India, at least I will say in northern India, it's very different from southern India. Southern India, it was very similar to Bangladesh in terms of the whole selfie thing. In the north, northern India, it was just like every day, everywhere I go, it's like selfie, selfie, selfie. So that was the biggest difference for me that I noticed. But everything else was extremely similar in multiple ways. The people were just a little bit different. Different good, different bad, I have no idea. It was just different. What qualifications have you been asked to have in order to teach in Vietnam? In Vietnam, there's basically it depends on the school. I will say that. It depends on the school and how desperate they are. If you want to teach in a city like Ho Chi Minh City or whatever the other one is, in the north, Hanoi, on paper, technically, you need to be a graduate of a college and have a bachelor's degree, period, end of story. It's, from what I have learned after, it is required by law in their government. But I have talked to foreigners who do not have a bachelor's degree, and they did teach in a public school, and the school actually paid lawyers to create fake documents for you, the foreigner, and submit them as proof of your bachelor's degree, even though you did not get a bachelor's degree. Schools would pay money for this. So there's ways around everything. Do I recommend that? No. Since I have left Vietnam, I have heard of people who have been arrested and put into prison in Vietnam for teaching illegally in Vietnam. So whatever the rules and regulations are, I recommend that you follow them. I unfortunately didn't, because I guess I trusted the local people to do something on multiple occasions. And then after I left and started looking at the rules and regs, or listening to the rules and regulations from other people, are like, yeah, you shouldn't have did that. I'm like, oh. So luckily, everything was okay for me, but I don't recommend that. In some countries that you can't even volunteer. You can't even go there and help someone do something. It's so crazy. You can't volunteer without certain visas. It's really strange. But yeah, I don't know. I would just recommend following the rules in whatever country that you're in. I wonder. It was a cool channel. Well, thank you. Yep, similar to you and me, likes to go where the crowd doesn't go. Yeah, totally. That's the best place, man. Because that's where the culture is at. Because if you go to the tourist area, like, hold on, more water. I'm thirsty. Basically in every country, and specifically, I don't know if people were just scared in Vietnam or what it was, but I remember being in Ho Chi Minh City and traveling in that area, the tourist area. I needed to get my, anyway, I was in tourist area. because I needed to stay there in order to go to Cambodia to get a visa run. So I had to stay there for one night. And it's so interesting. You go from, you can walk out of your hotel and just walk 1 kilometer in any direction, and the tourists just disappear. I mean, it's just gone. It's just amazing. So in Vietnam, you did not have to go far from the tourist area. I don't know if the word communist country scares foreigners or what it is. I don't know. Or if it's the look and style of the buildings that look a little run down and scary. I don't know. But whatever it is, it sure keeps people away from the real awesome Vietnam. I don't know. To me, it's strange. I don't know why people don't go explore more. I think it's just fear. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But it's my favorite thing in the world to do. Just walk away from the tourist area. It's the best. And even when you're walking 1 kilometer away from the tourist area, people still look at you like, oh my God, a foreigner. Like it just proves the point that foreigners rarely go to these areas. It's so crazy. Anyway, but fine, I'm not complaining because the less people who go out of the tourist area, fine by me. I don't care. You guys can all stay there and have a little happy party together. I don't care at all. I just want to use the hotel and then go explore the non-tourist areas. That's basically it. People are ridiculous on YouTube. Yes, they are. You have no idea. I almost every day I wake up to several comments, and at least one of them, once every day or once every 2 days, I'll have a comment that is just awful. Like some of the worst types of comments you could ever imagine. It's just insanity. So obviously, yes, I just delete them and block them, and they can never comment again. I just don't even care anymore. It's crazy though. Here in Colombia, I've been drinking the tap water, and it's safe to drink in the main town. It's really awesome. Never been to Colombia. Interesting enough, when I first was considering starting to travel the world, like 4 years ago, that was in my top 3. What was it? It was going to be the Philippines. Yeah, it was going to be the Philippines, Colombia, or, oh my God, I'm going far back in my mind, or Philippines, Colombia, or Malaysia. Those were the 3 countries that I chose in the beginning. Yeah, and it just kind of worked out. I went to the Philippines, then Thailand, then the Philippines, then Vietnam, and then Cambodia, and then did all of these, and then India, and everywhere else. Bangladesh and such. So yeah, I didn't go. It's so crazy. If I would have picked Colombia, my whole travel journey could have been just totally different. I would not have flown from Colombia to the Philippines. I would have, because plane tickets are too expensive, I would have started in Colombia and just like backpack South America or Central America, depending on which way I wanted to go. So yeah, it's amazing. The butterfly effect, one small decision can impact, I guess, my future or someone else's future. I guess that's the butterfly effect. But yeah, just one simple little click of a mouse when I bought this plane ticket or this plane ticket created all of which you have seen just by starting in the Philippines. Crazy, right? Apparently the first American had died. Really? Oh my God. I didn't know that. What do you think of teaching English in China without documents? Man, I'm here to tell you, I wouldn't. I have heard so many horror stories, like terrifying stories of foreigners getting sent to jail or given a fine or prison time because they have taught English illegally, basically without the proper documentation or without the correct visa, like no joke. So be careful, that's all I can tell you. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Are the streets quiet in Ho Chi Minh? Ho Chi Minh, no. At night, yeah, at night, oh, it's eerie. It's like creepy at night. It was so quiet, dead quiet. I remember waking up at like 3 in the morning to reach the airport at like 4:30 or something. I don't know, whatever it was, 4 o'clock. But it was like 3 in the morning, and it was like dead. All of the big metal gates are closed, the big metal doors closed in all the businesses, and it's just like dead silent. It was creepy at night. But during the day, it's so loud you want to wear earplugs. depending on where you are, obviously. But yeah, mainly because people drive motorbikes without exhausts, proper exhaust pipes, or they honk their horn constantly, and the traffic is intense. But I felt that did you say Ho Chi Minh or Saigon? Yeah, Ho Chi Minh. I was thinking, or Saigon is the same, or Hanoi. But I was referring to Hanoi. But same thing, I'm sure, in Ho Chi Minh at night, where everybody closes it. Yeah, but it was creepy. Travel notes. Hello, Maitri. Hello, hello. They don't play around in Vietnam. They can destroy your life. Cambodia doesn't pay well. Best to go to China. Wuhan, yeah, don't go to Wuhan, at least not right now anyway. I was in Ho Chi Minh and got sick of people coming up to me trying to rip me off. I know. It's terrifying. Not terrifying, terrible. I remember I was there for like 2 days and I was walking around and then I was far away from the tourist area, like really far, and I bumped into 2 other tourists, and I thought, oh wow, foreigners. And they were from Germany, husband and a wife, and I said, oh, how long have you been here? They're like, oh, 3 hours. Like 3 hours? They're like, yeah, we just flew in from Germany. We've never been out of Germany in our whole lives. And we took our first trip to Vietnam. Like, wow, that's a jump. Like, to pick Vietnam and travel alone, all walking around where you don't know where you are for the first time is a bit of a jump. But they did. And I remember a woman came up to us selling pineapple. She had a big basket on her head full of pineapple, and she's like, "Oh, pineapple, pineapple!" And the German woman said, "Yes, I want pineapple." And she says, "How much?" And she says, "So what was it? Yeah, it was 110,000. 110,000 for it was a half a pineapple. She would take one pineapple, chop it in half, and then chop that into pieces and give you a half of a pineapple. So basically, that is like about $4, a little more than $4 for a half a pineapple. Like that's insane. If you go anywhere else and they don't cheat you, the normal instead of 110,000, the normal price is anywhere between 8 and 12 or 13, 8 and 13, something like that. For that 18,000 or 12,000, let's say 12,000, and they wanted 110. It was insane. And I told the woman, I said, no, I was angry. Like, go, that's terrible. You're cheating. You're cheating. And I even translated on my phone, cheating. And she got very angry at me. And then the German was like, well, no, I want pineapple. And I said, no. The local price is 10,000 or 12,000, whatever. But she wants 110 from you. And her eyes got really big. She's like, oh my God, why is she trying to cheat me? And it's like, yeah, this is what happens. You're a foreigner here, and that's what they do. So it's frustrating, crazy. Yeah, but that didn't happen. What's interesting is the moment you generally get out of the tourist area, the scams they die. Like Vietnam was full of honest people. I mean, full of honest people. Traveling through Vietnam, it was amazing. It was just amazing. How honest people were in situations. And believe me, I put myself in scenarios where they could have taken advantage of me intentionally because I knew what certain prices were, and still they were honest. There were some times where people would cheat me, but nothing like it was in Cambodia. Nothing like it was in Cambodia. I mean, generally, Vietnam was super honest, didn't matter where I went. I remember walking through Harlem, New York in the 70s. At that time, the place was not safe, really, but I had no problem. It's just fear. Yeah, I think, yeah, anybody can be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Totally. I drink raw sewage, it kills the virus. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, Chris. Hey, Jake. I had fun volunteering twice a week at an English cafe in Japan, yeah? Helping the locals learn English, it helped them, and it helped me to not feel lonely. Yeah, totally. It's amazing, and it's just cultural exchange, right? It's so much fun to do those types of things. I think it's amazing. So kudos to you. That's cool, man. You're young, you've got time to see more countries at your own pace. Yeah, I know, but mathematically, if you think about it, right now there's about 195 countries in the world, give or take 1 or 2, depending on what you categorize as a country, qualifies as a country. And if you mathematically figure out, if I spend 6 months here, 6 months here, 6 months here, that would take basically 100 years to visit that many countries. Yeah, like 99 years to visit that. It's insane. So I don't have that much time remaining. So that means that in order to visit all of the countries, I would have to visit them like every 2 months, every 2 months, every 2 months. I'd have to switch. Well, I can't afford to go from country to country every 2 months. It's too expensive. I have to stay a longer period of time. And then so that makes it impossible to visit all of the countries. So that means that I have to be selective about which ones I go to or which ones I return to. So I just wish time and money was no concern. Unlimited money or unlimited time, no problem. But unfortunately, yeah, it's kind of a concern. Do you manage hookups or romantic relationships at all during your trips? Just curious. Hello from Hong Kong. Someone asked me this the last live stream. I don't want to dive into too much information because it's just kind of weird. Doesn't matter which way I talk about it, someone somewhere would think, this is weird, including myself. But the answer is yes, but it's limited because it's kind of a difficult thing. The language barrier is a big thing. Not many people understand my language. I mean, yes, there are people who do, but I mean, if I go walking outside right now, chances are no one will understand me in this area, like no one. There's just a few places that I have met where people can speak choppy English, and luckily the man who owns this building can speak very well. And then culture is different. Like, man, so in the country that I'm in right now, especially in the north, but I'm in the south right now, but there are places where I'm here to tell you, men and women are separate, like separate. It's crazy. I was just traveling before I came here a couple 100 kilometers that way, not very far at all, a day on a train, just a few hours on a train. And I was on the boat, and to get on the boat, there were two separate lines, a man line and a woman line. And then when you got on the boat, men sit at the front, women sit at the back, and you do not go to the back. In fact, when I was going across the, whatever it was, river, lake, I don't know, lake, to the other side, I went to check emails and something, and people were like, no phones. I'm like, why? And they're like, because women are over there. They thought that I was going to take a photo of a woman sitting at the back of the boat. I mean, this is a big boat. So culturally, some places that I travel, and not just India, things are different. Things are weird. So how do I manage a relationship when people would get angry if I'm even looking over there? I don't know. So things are weird, I will say that much. So that's basically all I'm going to say about this topic. I think Osaka, Japan had the most crowded streets of any city I've ever been to. Really interesting. I would say for me the most hectic place ever. Well, I will say I called it the Metal Highway in Vietnam, walking along the big roads in Vietnam in the cities like Ho Chi Minh City. I mean, it was just unreal. I mean, you just can't even imagine. Very few people in Vietnam own a car. I mean, the percentage of car owners is very limited, very small, compared to everybody owns a motorbike. And so you'd see the whole major highway and big roads, like huge roads, just jam-packed with motorbikes. The occasional semi, or lorry, I guess if you are from the UK or something, the occasional semi you'd see, and then the occasional vehicle, car or truck or something like that. Everything else was just motorbikes. Like 95% of the whole road was motorbikes, and they were just jam-packed with one another. I mean, when you're driving, you're like bumping elbows, and everyone's just flying. It's just insane. I call it the Metal Highway. But I would say the craziest, most chaotic traffic I've ever seen was in Bangladesh. I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff in India, but going through different parts of Bangladesh, it was the most dense, thick traffic full of bicycles, trucks, the occasional car, tons of motorbikes, rickshaws everywhere, and a couple horses going around, and a couple people like pulling wagons with horses. And it's just like this giant area where there's like a road over here, a road over here, a road over here, like a different street, a different street, a different street, and there's this giant intersection with no lights, no control, no lines on the road. It's just everyone meets and then just finds their way to the other side. It was insane. Like, to me, that wins. That was the craziest thing I think I've ever seen. I was meaning, are those streets quieter because of the virus in Saigon? Are those streets quieter because of the virus in Saigon? Oh, I have no idea. I'm not there right now. I haven't been there in years, in like 2 years. So I have no idea what it's like right now. I have seen footage in China where, I think it was Hunan, it must have been, where like the city was shut down and the footage is just like nobody. It was just a man in a car driving, filming outside of his car. It was just a whole city. You couldn't see a human outside walking around. It was creepy, really creepy. So that's a thing. Where did you go? This thing keeps moving. Where did it go? I don't know if the comment just like moved up. Ah, right there. Cool. I went to Osaka a few months ago, and only the area called Umeda was very crowded. Most of the city was not crowded. Okay, did you try a message parlor in Saigon or Cambodia? Did you try a message parlor? Oh, massage parlor. I read that wrong. Massage. I don't know the spelling difference. Massage. I don't know. I think you spelt it wrong. Yeah, Massage is massage. That's why I read it message. I'm assuming you're talking about massage parlor in Saigon or Cambodia. No, I didn't. I wanted to, but didn't. I didn't want to get ripped off. Yeah, that's one of the big reasons why I don't go inside. Sometimes they list prices on the outside. They list prices on the outside, and some of them have been fair prices. I'm like, I just don't feel like going in there. The one that I was going to go into, no joke, I stayed in a hotel hostel somewhere in Vietnam, and I was surprised to see a foreigner there because it was like far away in a small town. And one man was an American, but his blood is Vietnamese, and he could speak a little bit of Vietnamese. His mother spoke Vietnamese in the United States, and then he could speak choppy Vietnamese. He says, he says, I can speak okay, but it's kind of choppy and sounds weird. But anyway, he was so excited to tell me that that massage parlor was a special massage parlor. He says, go in there. He says, it's only $5, and it includes special treatment, is what he says. I'm like, Jesus, no, I'm not gonna go in there. It's just too awkward for me to go into one of those places. But it's a thing, I guess. It's a thing. Yeah, it was in the main shopping area. Yeah, it was in the main shopping area. Parts of New Delhi, especially the old town, were crazy. Gerald, you're amazing. You must be from the Philippines. PHP, that's not internet code, but Filipino pesos. Peso. Thank you. You're amazing. Amazing. Oh, last time when someone sent this to me, I got a pear, like the fruit, a pear, but this one is like a woman with this big blonde chunk of hair. I don't know how you select those things, but it's cool. Homesick sometimes. When you went back, so the last time I visited the United States was last year. What is this, 2020, 2019? Yeah, 2019 I was there last year. I was there for like 2.5 or 3 months. My cousin invited me for his wedding, and at the time he was like the only human that I would go visit for a wedding. If someone invited me to a wedding, I would say thank you, but no thank you, but he's the only person that I would have went back for. And he messaged me out of the blue. He says, hey, I'm getting married. So I flew back, and I didn't want to just fly for a week and then come back because that's really expensive to fly on the other side of the world. And we all know that my income is like nothing. So, yeah, so I stayed there for 3 months. Stayed there for 3 months, met with a lot of different family, even shot a little bit of videos, and a few videos, and my mother and I hung out quite a bit. She actually took me to a couple different places, 3 different places. And in fact, that's where I got one of these bracelets, and then the 2 others I gave to different people in India while I was traveling. But yeah, so I visited there last year for 3 months. Other than that, that's been the only time I've gone to the United States since I have started traveling since June of 2016. It's the only time. Where did it go? Homesick. Do I get homesick? No, I don't. Maybe that's bad for me to say that, but I don't. Really, with Facebook, I can connect to family and friends, see what everybody's doing. In fact, every couple of days, Facebook is an app that I use probably the least out of social media today. But yeah, I can kind of spy on my friends and family and see what they're up to and say, everything's okay or not okay, or if I need to send a message, I will. But yeah, that's it. So I don't get homesick. If social media wasn't a thing and like it was like the 70s, yeah, I would probably get a little bit homesick because I don't know what's going on. I'd have to physically call someone, and I don't know. But social media just throws that out the window for me. I don't physically need to be next to someone to feel connected to someone. So social media does a good job for me. Do you use iMovie for editing? No. iMovie, I haven't used that in like 10 years. That was when I first, I started editing, making slideshows. I would scan no joke, I would scan old photos in my house, like print actual paper photos, put them on the scanner, scan it, upload it to my computer, save it, title it, done. And just go through hundreds of these photos one at a time. Took forever, hours and hours and hours. And then I would take that, put it into iMovie, and edit them together, throw some music behind it, and try to make some type of cool thing to give to people or share with people. Yeah, so that's a thing. I did that, but no, now I use, what is it called? Final Cut Pro on Mac. I have a Mac, so Final Cut Pro, that's what I use. And it's amazing. I love it. There's only one feature I wish it would have, but it doesn't. I can't remember that feature. But anyway, you have to pay some money to get it. Like, not worth it. Have you ever visited Rajasthan anywhere? Yeah, totally. I have a whole series on Rajasthan if you watch my YouTube channel. Just go to India and start from the bottom and go up, and you'll see the order that I traveled through India. And I make several different stops in Rajasthan, including Mount Abu, Jodhpur, Bikaner, Jaisalmer. I think that's the major ones. There might be one more that I'm forgetting. Can you tell if Thailand or Bali or Thailand? No and no. Honestly, Thailand, I went there before, stayed there for a month, and I guess I love culture. I travel for culture. And the feeling I got in Thailand was they are so used to seeing foreigners that they had no interest in communicating to me, like almost none. So my contact with local people was very limited in Thailand. And so I guess I didn't fall in love with Thailand. So that's kind of sad. But I will say I travel different now, and I travel much deeper now than I did then. If you watch some of the videos, I would be close to a tourist area, kind of, and I wouldn't get away too far. But now I'm like, I get as far as I can. But generally, no, I didn't fall in love with Thailand because nobody really wanted to talk. And then when I did talk to someone, it was very, very brief, and they was just like, okay, I'm done talking to this foreigner now, and then they would like go away. So I don't know. Maybe I need to go back and re-experience Thailand. Maybe. I don't know. Bali? No. I mean, every time you open up YouTube, it's a Bali video, another Bali video, another one. And so, like, I just can't even imagine there's any culture remaining in Bali anymore, that whole island. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm sure it's beautiful. I've seen photos and it looks absolutely stunning. But remember, I don't travel for beauty. I travel for people and culture. So yeah, Bali is really not on my list. If I travel Indonesia, then I'm sure I'll make a pit stop and say, hey, I've been to Bali. But generally, I wouldn't spend more than a couple of days there, is my guess. I really want to travel to some of the other islands that a lot of people don't go to. Yep, that's how I think about that. Had a kung fu massage and a kung fu massage, huh? I don't know if that's code for anything in Lao, but it was in a traditional spa for locals. The man had me on the floor pulling everything you could pull, never again, yeah. I have seen videos on YouTube of people getting massages in different countries, and some of them look downright painful. I mean, it's like there's a borderline of massaging and massaging hard to work out muscles, but once you go beyond hard and become like aggressive, you'll pass the pleasure point and it now becomes painful. And I have seen this so many times in other countries where it just has become like this pain. Like people are like, stop, like what the hell are you doing to me? Like, so maybe that's what you experience. I don't know, but I've seen these type of videos and yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'll do one sometime and film it for you. Listening and reading all comments, watching from Hong Kong. Yeah, hello, Hong Kong. I think I'm done traveling in Hong Kong. Yeah, you probably watched the last video. Oh, that was Macau, not Hong Kong. Yeah, I don't think I have any more Hong Kong videos coming, unfortunately. Nope, I think I uploaded them all already. Everything else will be in China. And then after that, I'll have 2 videos in India, probably. And then after that, my next country. But I still have a lot of Chinese videos, so holy cow, I have so many more to edit. And they're going to get better too, because while I was in China, that is when I acquired the drone. And so then pretty soon you'll see a lot of drone footage, which is cool. But right now, nope. Your next mission in life is to get a kung fu massage, yeah? I don't know, sounds interesting, sounds painful. Are you planning to get a drone? Hey, down the topic. Are you planning to get a drone? I actually have one right here, the DJI. I have the Air, yeah, the Mavic Air, that's what I have. Yeah, but unfortunately I have not even turned it on since I left China because it's so illegal to fly here in India. It's so crazy. It's so beautiful. I mean, there's so many things that I could film. It is such an amazing country, but they're like, no. It's so stupid. I just can't understand this, the logic that goes behind this. Like, don't even get me started. Doesn't make sense. I even had the local man here who his relative is in the police force, he said. And he says, don't worry, I'll ask my uncle. And he will tell me if you can fly or not. And so he did, and he came back and he says, not just no, but like absolutely not is what my uncle said. It was just like, which in any country you need proper licensing, but apparently by reading online, foreigners cannot fly in this country at all because you have to register it, but foreigners cannot register it. You have to have a local person do it in their name, and then you can technically fly or something weird like that. But you have to pay all this money just to fly. Like, really? It's just a camera to take pictures of me and go like this for you on YouTube. That's crazy. And I've seen prices around the world. It is insane what countries are charging. When you bring it in, they're gonna say, oh, you have a drone. I've seen countries now where once you enter with a drone, that drone was almost $1,000 US, $1,000 US. And I've seen people enter countries and they'll say, oh, you have a drone. You're not allowed to bring it beyond the airport, so we'll need to keep it here. Okay, so when you go travel, and then when you come back at the airport, you pick it up and they say, okay, now you have to pay us 95% of the value of the drone. 95%. So you'd have to come up with $950 US cash just so they release the drone from the locker and give it back to you so you can fly home. It is insane. That is just the customs. So it's cheating, but you can't argue with them. There's nothing you can do. It's just insane. And then other countries, when you go there, they say, oh, you have to pay all this money. I was reading in Vietnam recently, I got this on the top sites on Google, so I'm assuming that it's true, where you can fly one time for the battery life, which is 18 minutes maybe, 19 minutes, fly once, and you have to pay like $100 just to fly for 20 minutes in the air. That is insane. Or you can spend like $300 to get a license that'll allow you to fly for like a month. But in order to get that license, you need to fill out a piece of paper to tell them every single location that you will be to fly and every single flight that you will have and the purpose of each flight that you will do. It's nuts. So it's just making it so difficult for the drone community to record anything. I mean, so when you see this footage on YouTube of other vloggers and they have drone footage, kudos to them. Either A, they're paying big money to fly in these other countries, big money. Or option B, they're not paying anything, they're getting through customs, they're flying, and they're taking a massive risk. Just in this country, you can read right now on Google of the foreigners in this country, India, who flew a drone, got arrested, and now they're sitting in a jail cell. Like, this is real. It's insane. Just for taking a photo and going like this. It's just nuts. So all of these countries are just, it's getting nuts about this drone thing. I just can't understand it. Like, yeah, if you fly near an airport or fly near a military base, I totally get it. Be angry. The government should take action. That should not be allowed. But built into the app when you fly, the drone will stop. Like if you want to fly over an airport, it like stops you. There's called a geofence. And when you fly, it'll just go stop. Nope, the drone will not enter this area because you are now coming too close to this sensitive area. Cool. So I think that's wonderful. So it literally prevents you from entering in. You actually have to, if you want to enter that space and you do have permission, you have to like swipe over and say, I have permission, and even take a photo and upload the picture of the document that you have received from that location. And then so now it's record proof that anyone can look at. So I think that's a wonderful thing. But these countries just ban you. It's just insanity to me. And I'm scared because when I go to other countries, the next country that I plan on going to right now, you're not allowed to fly drones at all. There's a ban on them. So I'm scared when I land and they check my bag and they see the drone, does that mean that they're going to confiscate it and then I have to wait for it when I come back? And then when I come back after a month in the airport, does that mean that I have to pay a huge penalty because they held on to it? It's just so frustrating. So what I do is I disassemble it. I take all the pieces, as many things as I can take apart, and separate everything. I put these things in the big bag, these things in the small bag, this thing in this small pouch, and the rest in a different pouch. I just separate everything. One man said, "Ooh, what are those? Are you carrying knives? Knives?" And I'm like, "No, just pieces of plastic for something else." He looked at it and was like, "Yeah, no problem." But it was the blade. It was the blade for the drone. I'm like, hopefully he doesn't know what this is. If I say, yeah, it's a drone, he's going to say, oh, no. And that was when I entered India. So I had to keep quiet. But I haven't flown it since I was here. So anyway, that's the drone situation. How was the weather in China? I was there and it was wonderful. There was a couple rainy days, but I will say we traveled every weekend. And 95% of the time we had awesome weather. Like sometimes the weather would say, oh, this weekend is going to be full of rain at the destination that you're going to go to, full of rain and cloudy and terrible, windy. And then when we get there, it's sunny and blue skies. Like we had the best. There's only a couple videos where rain was an issue, but the whole time that I was in China, I had wonderful weather. We got really lucky. Were you there for the major part of I was there. No, I was there for the summer, the whole summer. I was there from like April until October to the early November, April to early November, beginning of November. So yeah, the whole summer. It was really hot. Actually, there's loads of culture in Bali, really, especially around the temples. But yes, there's too many tourists. Yeah, so correct. I don't want to say there's no culture. What I mean is they still have their original culture, but they are consistently exposed to Western culture. So that diminishes or lowers their pureness, I guess. I don't know how to say it. Yeah, totally. People still do things, and even when I was in Ho Chi Minh City in the tourist area, yeah, people are different. Yeah, buildings are different. Yeah, it's different. Yes, I get it. But that area was completely different than every other part of Vietnam, or every tourist area is different in every country on the outskirts or out of the tourist area. So I guess that's the point I was trying to make. Yeah, there's still, I'm sure, culture there. I just want to get out. I like going places where people are shocked when they see a foreigner walking. They're like, "Oh my God, are you lost? Are you okay? Like, what are you doing here? I haven't seen a foreigner here." I mean, I've been in places in India where people are like, "I have lived here for almost 30 years, and you are the first foreigner I've ever seen in this area, ever." So that's cool. And these type of situations happens a lot for me, or it has happened a lot for me over the last 3 years, because I specifically go to these areas because it's fun for me. I noticed your friend guide in China, Hong Kong was having a permanent smile on his face. Yeah, funny guy. Did you pay in? Did you pay in? I don't know what you mean, did you pay in? Did you pay him, maybe? Or was it just friendly? No, he was just, on the video, he's a cool guy. He's a friendly guy on camera. Yeah. Yeah, everything. I often joke with his pronunciation. I think, did I upload that video? No, the video that I edited today that I'll post, I don't know, maybe in the next day or two, you will see. He said, what did he say? We're going to take, he said, this is great. He says, we're going to take a shit and we're going to go back home. And I said, what? No. I said, we're going to take a ship and then go back home. So his pronunciation was just a little bit off, and it was hilarious. So I give him grief sometimes, but he was a good sport about that. He knew his pronunciation was off, and I don't know. So we often joked like that. We joked a lot, especially on camera. The drone hassles started because they're drone awesome. Yeah, I know. The drone hassles started because there were drones flying too near to commercial flights. Totally, especially around airports. I even heard planes were trying to take off and a drone like came next to an airplane. I don't know what country this was, but then the whole place had to like shut down because of this one little drone. It's crazy. People sometimes are not educated on it. It's weird, but the reality is we're penalizing the population of good people for just a small percentage of bad people who do break the law, people who do not follow the rules and regulations, which is and it's like big red writing, especially when you're flying on your phone. And some drones don't have this, but you're supposed to follow the rules, follow the law, and he obviously broke the law. So again, just like, it's just weird. Why is the country, or why are countries around the world penalizing the whole community for just a couple people who can't follow rules, who break the rules? So I don't know, it's frustrating. We get penalized for those people who don't. It was in London, okay, yeah. And so, and many of your advanced drones today, the expensive ones, it comes with the technology support. It's called geofencing, meaning if I want to go into an airport, right now I'm flying, I'm going, all of a sudden the drone will go, it'll stop automatically. Why? Because there's a geofence there preventing it, saying, no, you can't go there. Do you have permission to go there? And then you have to go in and say, yes, I do. And then it comes with a warning saying, you are taking responsibility by law, blah, blah, blah. If you enter and you're not allowed to go in there, you could pay significant fines, blah, blah. Yep, I accept, done. And then you can go in there, unless you have a very small, cheap one where it doesn't have geofencing. So, yeah, crazy, I don't know. It's just nuts. Bangladesh is another place. I didn't have my drone there. I want to go back, but I've been reading about Bangladesh, and they're like, no, you cannot fly in Bangladesh. All these rules and laws say, no, you can't. But then some people in Bangladesh were saying, no, just come to Bangladesh. You don't have to worry about the police or drone. You can come, no problem. We'll help you through all that. So it's just so weird. There's no, I don't know. I just wish it was so easy, but it's so complicated sometimes. What about Africa? I know, I want to go. It just comes down to time and money. I need more time, I need more money. I would love to just go somewhere new every 2 or 3 months. That would be like a dream come true for me. but unfortunately I can't. My dream come true, I'll tell you my dream come true. It would be this, to go somewhere new every 2 or 3 months, and to have a filming crew follow me. My videos could be so much better than they are right now if I could have someone follow me, and film everything that I do. I would kind of change the angle of the channel, but I'm only limited by my arm. So yeah, if I had a crew, it would be a different story. Number 3, was that number 1? Yeah, I wish I could just go to country to country, but that requires a lot of money, so that's impossible right now. B, wish I had a filming crew, and C, I wish I had an editing crew that would just edit for me. I couldn't even imagine the life of me traveling wherever I wanted to, having people film, all I have to worry about is coming up with like a script, not a script, but like a blueprint of what I want to do, who I want to be with, and then we just make it happen. And then they just follow and record, and then all I have to do is go here and do another one. And then they edit, they do everything. That would just be like a dream come true. But obviously that's not a thing right now. Yeah, the channel would change in a little bit different way. I would film things differently, I think. The stories would be different, the whole feel of the channel would be different. But Africa, to answer your question, it is not on my list anytime soon. I guess in my mind, I wanted to travel around Asia, and then in my mind, it was going to be Central and South America, and then Europe, and then maybe Africa. But I don't know. Yeah, Africa, I want to go. It looks cool. It really does. I don't know. No plans, but yes, I want to go. Just time and money. That's basically it. Guess so, but the people in Bali still keep to their traditions and wear clothing and pay for their respects to the gods. Yeah? Interesting. Yeah, I want to go. When I looked a couple of years ago to go to Indonesia, the rules and regulations, the visa policy was really weird and difficult for me. Not just as a tourist to get in, that's easy, but to stay long, like several months at a time, it was kind of complicated and it just scared me. So I just said, nope, Philippines. So that's why I went there. Yep, that was Heathrow in London. I spent a month in Bangladesh and only saw maybe 4 Westerners. I know, it's the exact same. I think it was like 3. I think I seen 1 couple and then 2 different people randomly. And I thought, wow, white people. I was shocked. I'm not even sure if they seen me, but I seen them. But we did not talk to each other. I spent a month in Bangladesh. Okay, that's what I just read. I felt like a tourist attraction everywhere I went. Yeah, I would say I felt more like a tourist attraction in northern India. In northern India, it was more of that feeling than in Bangladesh. Bangladesh was a little bit more laid back. People would see me and say, oh, look, there's a foreigner. But many times people wouldn't like come up to me or interact with me or ask me for a photo or anything like that. So it was kind of more chill there, but across the border right into Calcutta, I mean, it was just like wildfire. Everybody wants to come up to you and talk to you. That's just the feeling that I had. And that was all over northern India. So yeah, so I don't know how much you've traveled in northern India, but I don't know. I felt like a tourist attraction there more. And it was the same in the Philippines. If you go to the Philippines, you definitely are a tourist attraction. When you get out of the tourist area, people always run up to you and want to talk to you. And people are so friendly. It's fun. Very helpful too. I couldn't imagine going to Africa. I would think it'd be similar, depending on where you went to. I don't know, maybe you might scare people like, oh, what is, because they don't get a lot of tourists. So my guess is it might scare people like, what is he doing here? I don't know, different cultures. They say India is world central for food poisoning, maybe. What's your experience and any health issues in general in your trips? Street food is the biggest problem, I would say that. I have seen some of the most horrific ways to prepare food, but this isn't just specific to India. I've been sick in India. I mean, sick, like, felt terrible for twice, and it was 2 days apart. and that was I ate fruit, fresh fruit. It was papaya. And apparently now I have learned that there's certain papaya that you must be careful with because something inside it will make your head hurt. And basically it felt like I put my finger in an electric outlet and held it there for, I don't know, a day and a half, and then took it out and was normal. And then 2 days later, I put it in for another day and a half. Like my brain was just like full of electricity pains that wouldn't go away. It was the most crazy thing. And I realized, and it happened twice because I ate a papaya, that's what caused it. That day I had food outside also. And then 2 days later, I did not eat that food, but I had another papaya and it started all over again. I realized, it was the papaya. Then I talked to someone, and he randomly brought up the topic of papaya, and he says, you must be careful with certain papaya because if you eat, it was like, he said the seeds, but it was like pieces of white things inside that I just thought was part of the papaya. He said it'll cause huge pains in your head. I'm like, that's where it came from. So be careful with papaya. But in terms of street food, even restaurants. I mean, I've seen nice restaurants, and you can still see the kitchen. I've watched people it's just flies walk all over food, and they still give it to you and cook with it. I've seen people cooking soup, and they're talking, and the spoon kind of falls. It goes on the ground, which is the most disgusting floor full of dirt and hair and disgust you could ever imagine in your life. And he just, without even thinking about it, he just keeps talking. He picks it up from the floor. I swear to you, this thing had to have been covered with not only hair, but dust and dirt and just all kinds of everything, probably ants crawling on. And then he just plops it right back in the soup and keeps stirring, and then he just goes like this and serves the bowl to the next customer. I just can't even get my mind around that. And that's just one of countless examples. But that's not just India. I mean, I've seen this in Bangladesh. I've seen this in Cambodia. I've seen this in Vietnam. It's everywhere. In underdeveloped countries or countries where education is less, they just have no concept of this type of thing. I don't know. I can't fully understand it. It just seems so basic to me. But in some places, they have no concept that this is dirty or it can cause problems, I guess. I don't know. Weird. So what is my opinion on it? I don't really have an opinion. I wouldn't say it's world central, maybe because they have a very huge population. So a lot of people, if you eat outside, you can have problems. But I wouldn't really pick on India any more than I would pick on other countries in Asia. I mean, it was in Asia. I consistently have seen some pretty scary stuff when it comes to food and food preparation. Just wild. I mean, I remember in Cambodia, I took a motorbike up a mountain. I was hungry. I ate breakfast, and it's now like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm starving, so I stopped. I seen like people cooking in these little vendor things, so I stopped and looked around. And there was a guy who had cooked meat. I don't know what it was, some tons and tons of meat, and you could tell he cooked it a while ago. And he put it on the plate and just like stacked the meat on top of each other, and it was just sitting there. And then other people, locals, would come up and order this meat, say, I just want one. And I mean, when he reached for the meat, it felt like hundreds of flies just took off all over the meat. And he takes this, put it on the plate, and gives it to the man. And without even thinking, he just starts eating it, just like it's nothing. Like, just can't even wrap my mind around that scenario. It makes me want to vomit just thinking about it. So no, I wouldn't pick on India. It's just a thing, and there's certain areas who unfortunately have received less education in their life, and because of that, they just don't know about this. Any health issues in general during your trips? I've been that one head problem, sickness in India. I ate something in Vietnam which made me really sick for a good 2 days. And I ate something in Cambodia once. So I think Vietnam happened twice. I was there for more than a year. But once in Cambodia, I ate crocodile, and that turned me inside out. Oh my God, for about 2 days nonstop. It was just nothing but, it was just terrible. Yep, but other than that, no. I'm okay. Oh, yeah, China, self-surgery. This is weird. Self-surgery, if you didn't hear that right. So I got like some type of skin infection, first time in my life. Don't even know what the hell. Where was it? Ah, it's on my leg. No, happened twice. Twice. Like, what the hell? This is weird. So there was one like on my stomach. It was like right here. They said it was like an ingrown hair. Okay, well this is weird. Weird place for that. And it got infected, and the skin was too thick to, I don't know, remove the infection. So you have to wait for this thing to, like, I'm exaggerating, but get bigger, so the skin on the top becomes thinner, and then it's easy to open it and drain it. It is terribly painful and disgusting at the same time. This happened twice. The other one was in my upper, like my thigh, basically. And this one got so bad, I went to the doctor, and he says, okay, yep, the only thing that you're gonna do is take antibiotics, and then right now you're gonna go down to the ER, basically, and they will cut you open, and that's exactly what he said, cut you open and drain it. I said, nope, that shit's not gonna happen. No one's gonna cut me open. Like, nope. So anyway, I went back home and did it myself. It's extremely painful. It was extremely painful, very disturbing, not fun, but not life-threatening in any stretch of imagination. But I will tell you, it was terrible. Big infection. Never even had this in my life. So weird. Anyway, so that happened. What else? A couple more questions, and then I'm gonna go. I have some things I still have to do tonight. It's 9 o'clock at night. I still have to do a couple things. So if you have more questions, feel free, or comments, send them immediately, because I'm gonna take off very soon. Let me know if you need a travel buddy for Africa someday, yeah? I really want to see Liberia and Kenya. I'm too afraid to go alone. Yeah, I can't say that I agree or disagree in terms of the fear. I haven't researched either of them, so I don't know. I don't know if I would be scared or not. It takes a lot to scare me, really it does. The only thing that scares me are wild animals like eating me, and hate crime, like people see me and attack me because I am a foreigner. That's scary. Like, that's scary to me. Like common petty theft, like people try to pickpocket everybody, locals or tourists, whatever, I can deal with that. But like target me because I am a foreigner and they can see me and they watch me and follow me, that's terrifying. So those are the two things that really scare me. But yeah, I have no plans. Who knows? Maybe in the future, maybe I'll go, and you'll know because I'll send you messages. I'll let people know in advance. So don't worry. Maybe we can go together. Who knows? Usually I travel alone, but maybe in this particular situation I wouldn't want to go alone. I don't know. But I think this is years in advance. Do you know Simon Reeve? Never heard of him. He does travel shows on the BBC, and he does What You Dream of Doing. Yeah, he's written a book about his life, reading a book now. I recommend it. I don't read. I can Google him, though. I'll see Cliff Notes version, but I would never read his book. But yeah, sounds like an interesting life. Would be fun. The only downside to that type of travel, potentially, is BBC is like educational. It's usually going here to talk about one specific topic, and then like you learn information and present it in a specific format to follow their guidelines. I don't know. To me, that would be a little bit boring to like do documentary stuff. For me, it's just hang out with local people and have fun. Like smile, laugh, and play together on camera. That's basically all I do in almost all of my videos. Joke around, poke fun, just see the human side of another culture. I mean, at core, we are all human beings, right? We all generally want the same things in life, but we think differently, and that thinking makes me very interested in traveling to these countries to experience this. So anyway, yeah, my show would be just hanging out with local people, talking, communicating, having fun, laugh, play, joke, do an activity in that area, eat a meal together, and just interact in any way possible. So in that way, I wouldn't have to follow a certain guideline, which I'm sure that man does on the BBC. That's my guess. But I'll have to Google him later. It sounds interesting. Bangladeshi villages, I have Mm, yeah, there's at least one video. In Sylhet, I walked through a village. I have a video on there if you want to see that one. But if I travel again in the future, I will try to visit more. I will try to get a longer visa if possible. Just try to shower more often. Yeah, but I sometimes twice a day when I was in China because it was hot. So no, I don't know. I don't know what the hell. Maybe, but it may not have been an ingrown hair. I don't know. That's just what one doctor said. But what's interesting is usually if it is an ingrown hair, which I mean sometimes you get or you get one on your face. I don't know. Usually after you open it, you will see the actual hair, which is longer than the other ones around it. And in both scenarios, that did not happen. So it leads me to think, no, that's not it. So I don't know. So weird. I've never seen that before. So I've never even seen another human have that before. So I don't know. Maybe I got something crazy from that crocodile that I ate. Where am I now? I'm in India, southern India. Found Kenya safe. Had no problems there. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, hate crime is my fear. Yeah, man. I'm telling you what. Like, how do you fight that? You just don't. You are targeted, and that's scary. Ugh. Did you ever get tired of teaching English in Vietnam? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, yes. I don't know what else to say. It was fun. I loved it. And would I do it again? Absolutely. It was so cool. I did it for like 10 months straight, and it was anywhere between 6 and 7 days a week, nonstop. I mean, nonstop. So from that aspect, I got burnt out. Like I just got tired of it. And then the second half would be students who their parents forced them to learn English, but the students do not want to learn English. So then I'm the teacher in the middle who needs to meet the requests of the parents, teach their children, but then the child does not even want to pay attention, doesn't want to learn out of anything, like rejects you. And so it's like, that makes my job not fun. So that part got frustrating. The majority of the students, they were curious and wanted to learn, but there was enough of those students to really get under your skin. What state? I am from Michigan, technically. I guess I was born in Michigan, but I also lived in Phoenix, Arizona for a while, for 5 years. Do you ever get tired of, oh, I read that. It was Bishfora. I don't know what that is. That's what's cool with Simon Reeve, that exactly what he does on his shows. He's a free thinker, that's awesome. Yeah, maybe I'll have to check him out. Are you interested in learning other languages yourself? Yes, I am. I just don't have time. That's why, like I said, I wish I had a filming crew and mainly an editing crew. I can film myself if someone could edit for me, but that would give me time. Oh my God, time. And then I could do the things that I want. One of that would be, yes, study another language. I have studied some languages on my own while traveling in countries. Right now, out of all the languages that I speak, English is obviously my primary language. That's the only fluent language that I know. I can speak more Hindi, the language of northern India, more than any other second language. Third place is Vietnamese. I can still hold small conversations in Vietnamese. I would say number 4 would be Spanish. I can get by with many different nouns in Spanish if I were to travel in Mexico or something. And then 4th place, I learned some basic words while I was in the Philippines, which is Tagalog. So yeah, I have a few languages inside my mind, but I want to learn more. To be honest, I wish I could learn more Hindi, so I could travel in northern India and I could travel in northern India, and plus I could generally understand what people are saying when I travel to many parts of Bangladesh. And then same thing with Pakistan. They speak Hindi Urdu, which is very similar to. It's like, depending on who I talk to, some people say it's about 40% similar Urdu and Hindi, and some people say it's like 70%. So I don't know what the true number is, but if I can speak Hindi, I can communicate to northern India. I can communicate to central and northern India, really. I can communicate to people in many parts of Bangladesh, Pakistan, and I have heard from other people that places in Afghanistan, and there's a couple other, like UAE, Dubai, that area, many people can still speak Hindi in that area as well, or many people do speak Hindi in that area as well. So I could really communicate to a lot of the world. It'd be fun. Chinese sounds cool, but no. Yeah, it was really difficult to learn part of that language. Man, it was really difficult for me. It really is, because it's tonal. You have to go up and down. Oh my God. But I would say Hindi has my interest. Spanish has my second interest, because Spanish is like a very popular language around the world. You need to do a video on how you can afford traveling the world. Yeah, everybody says this, but generally it's my bank account. My bank account has a savings in it, and I try to spend those savings as cheaply as possible, because yeah, I want to travel as long as I can, but I've spent a lot of money over the last few years, and the bank account is just getting small, and it's scary. So that's frustrating. But obviously YouTube pays me a little bit, enough to buy water and food. That's comforting. Yeah, I'm going through ups and downs on YouTube. It's really frustrating. I don't know how much you know on your end, but from my end, you can see the traffic going up and down. Like last month, I had over 1 million minutes watched, which was about 260,000 views last month, which is, by my standards, quite high. I reached that only one other time when I was uploading to Cambodian videos. I had a big peak like that also. But yeah, basically my videos went semi-viral in Bangladesh, which caused the spike. But now, this month, based on where I'm at and what I'm doing right now, I'm projecting, instead of 260,000 views, I'm projecting close to 70,000 views this month. So it's like a roller coaster on YouTube. You never know. It's crazy. Yeah, so I just need to keep traveling to more places, do more stuff. But in that defense, like many foreigners, many tourists, travel vloggers, they go to the tourist areas, right? They go to the tourist areas and make those type of videos, and those have a lot of attention. So yeah, their vlog takes off. There's a lot of traffic. People are searching for that content, but not a lot of people search for the content that I post, which is like, oh, let's go to a village in the middle of nowhere where no one can speak with me, right? Who searches for that? A village in the middle of nowhere? Nope. So generally, there's not a lot of traffic in that realm. So my channel is kind of a smaller channel, which is cool, I guess. I'm not complaining too much. It would be nice if it would take off, because obviously more income, then I would travel more and make more content. So I don't know, maybe in the future, who knows? That's pretty much it. I don't know what else to say. I'm going to take off here in a minute. Do you worry about your safety when you travel? Yeah, it's a concern, but the only thing I'm nervous about is, like we mentioned above, hate crime, like targeting me. But everywhere that I've gone, I haven't even seen that or witnessed it, not even once. The only safety, I'm never concerned about my body. Generally, people are good and respectful. The only concern I usually have is when I stay at a hotel. Surprisingly, I stay at the hotel, leave my bags inside, and then I go out. I'm terrified that when I come back, either my bags are going to be gone, or someone has gone through my bags, because you use their key and they do not give you the only key. They say, some say, oh, keep the key here, sir, behind the desk. And they say, no, you can't go out with that key. You need to keep it behind the desk. So it's like, okay, what are you going to do with that key? Or option B, you keep the key or the key card, but when you're out, they can just go in your room and take stuff. So it's that fear is terrifying for me, because all I need is one person to take something, and I'm screwed, man. I'm like totally screwed. So that's scary. Sometimes, obviously, when I travel, people say, hey, stay at my house, no problem. And I usually say yes, and I try to trust people. And so, yeah, you go in their house and you leave all of your stuff there, and then you go out for dinner. And who's to say when you come back that the house wasn't robbed? They say, oh, no, someone robbed our house. Oh, my God, your bag is gone. But it was the whole plan all along. So that never happened. But this is how I think, and it's really scary. So I'm more scared about losing my equipment than someone attacking me, really. So far, people have been awesome all around the world. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Well, I thank you all for coming out. Thank you. It was fun to chat with all of you. It always is. I try to have one of these every 2 weeks. So maybe in a couple weeks, I'll be back and we can chat again. Special thanks to my patrons. Yeah, everyone who's supporting me on Patreon. You guys are amazing. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And a big thank you again for all of you who are following this channel, because without you watching my videos, no revenue comes in and basically nothing happens on my YouTube channel. So thank you for following my crazy adventures. You guys are amazing. When are you coming back to the States? No plans. I stayed there for 27 years. Now I want to travel the world for 27 years. So no plans at all. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. Yep, so pretty soon, I think in a day and a half, I'm going to release another video. I got some interesting stuff coming for you. So anyway, again, thank you all for watching. Remember, your time is running out. Start living. Take care.